Okay, so I'm supposed to be holding this. I hope that's a plane. Pretty sure that's a plane. As you can see from this image right here, I am nothing if not a fashion-forward individual. So today, I would like to do sort of an experiment in fashion. As the name of the video probably suggests, this has to do with Bleach and it has to do with stamps. A little backstory before I continue. About 10 years ago, I was inspired by this t-shirt right here to attempt to make graphic t-shirts using Bleach and Stencils. It basically began as me trying to figure out, how did they make this shirt? Because it's a light print on a darker fabric. Now, I had probably seen bleached shirts before that, but never really thought about it. Didn't really strike my mind as like, how did they do that? I want to do that. So it wasn't until this moment where it occurred to me like, oh, maybe they used bleach, that I was like, I want to do that too. Now back then, as I said, I used Stencils and Stencils was a nightmare. There's so many reasons why. The material, it's hard to work with, it's hard to cut. You need to use a hot knife, which is hot, hence the name. Adhering it to the fabric requires glue, otherwise the bleach is going to run underneath it, so you need to have it really adhered down to the fabric, and then you're spraying bleach into the air and then inhaling that, and that's never a good thing to do. So I eventually stopped doing that, especially because nobody was buying the shirts and it was kind of a waste of my time to do something like that if I wasn't making a profit. So I eventually gave up on that. But I always kind of wanted to go back to it. I always kind of wanted to figure out a better way. And that's what this video is about. This is about an idea I had that might be that better way. And that idea is stamps. Basically, woodblock stamps, like woodblock prints, like the Japanese used to do. But instead of using ink, I will be using bleach. I am about 99.9% sure this is gonna work, but I don't know how well it is going to work. So you're gonna come along with me on this 24-minute journey, because that's how much time I have left on this memory card, and I think it might rain at any moment. And so this is what you're gonna need if you wanna follow along. Now remember, we are working with caustic chemicals, so if you are a child or not all there in the head, probably don't try this at home without adult supervision, but realistically, I can't stop you if you want to. So here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need a spray bottle. You're going to need hydrogen peroxide to put in the spray bottle. You're going to need bleach. You are going to need a woodblock stamp. It's not a stamp yet, but it will be. I'm gonna actually come closer and show it to you. Oh man, I hope this is on autofocus. All right, we're in autofocus. So this is the pattern that I'm gonna use. I drew it myself because I'm an artist. I didn't want to show that part because it's kind of a waste of time. You know what drawing looks like. But I will show you the cutting part, unless it's slow, at which point I'll probably stop and time lapse this. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need the shirt. Cotton, 100% as 100% as possible. 50-50 will work, but not as well. You're gonna need a rotary tool with some kind of rotary bit that'll bevel wood. You're gonna need plastic gloves. You're gonna need a tray. And you're gonna need cardboard to put inside of the shirt when you're stamping it so it doesn't bleed through to the other side and bleach the back. All right, and you're gonna need a box cutter in case the cardboard needs to be cut to the size of the shirt. So that's a lot of things. So we're just gonna get right into the first step, which actually the first step was drawing the design on this, but so we're just gonna jump into the second step, which is beveling out the pattern. Okay, change of plans. The bit I chose is very wide for the size of the pattern I drew. So I'm going to just draw my name, freehand. Okay, another change of plans. This is really hard and I'm in a hurry, so I'm just gonna write haha because I don't even want to try the S in Here's Jolly. Okay, so the haha is going to be backwards because I forgot that this gets mirrored. But that's not the point of the that's not the point of this video. Quality of the artwork is not the point of this video. Sharpness of the edges and whether or not it works is the point. So now we're on to the next part because I got my stamp made and we're ready to party. I forgot to mention a few things about the chemicals we're using and why we're using them. Bleach should be obvious, I think. It deteriorates the dye used in cotton. It's very reactive, it works very quickly. A little bit on a shirt will destroy a shirt. The darker the color, the more it'll get destroyed because it destroys the ink regardless of how dark it is. One exception is red ink is very resilient to bleach, so don't do this with red, otherwise you're going to be very disappointed. It's just going to be pink, if you're lucky. Peroxide neutralizes bleach very quickly and very safely, and that is important. Some people use vinegar. Those people are stupid. You should not do what they do, because when you mix vinegar and bleach, it produces fumes which are bad to inhale. When you mix bleach and peroxide, it It bubbles and fizzes and gives off gas, but that gas is oxygen. I don't recommend getting close to it because it's probably not going to be 100% oxygen. There's probably going to be a little of the bleach fumes left in there that you shouldn't be breathing in. But if at a distance, like a few feet, even in a closed space that you shouldn't be working in anyways because you're using bleach, do this outside or in a well-ventilated place, it's generally going to be safe. So that's what we're going to use. The spray bottle, as I said, is for the peroxide because it's just easier than just spilling it everywhere. Because you only need the peroxide where you need the peroxide, which is where the bleach is. You don't want to overkill it. So that's why we use this. Safety first, and that's what the gloves are for. This is a caustic chemical. It will burn your skin if left on there for too long. When working with bleach, you always want to wear gloves and probably goggles if you're going to be spraying it in the air. I'm stupid, or I was 10 years ago, and I didn't use gloves always, and I never wore a mask. My lungs were already messed up, so it's fine. Good to go. All right, so now I'm going to move the camera again so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we got our stencil that's going to be backwards. Not stencil, stamp. This isn't a stencil. I hate stencils, and I never want to do that again. We also got our tray. This is what we're going to pour the bleach in. So given how small the stamp is, I probably should have used a smaller container so I wouldn't have to use as much bleach. The idea here is that we're going to soak up bleach into the stamp and then transfer it over. So I really only needed enough room to submerge probably the bottom little bit of this. Let's go. So while that's soaking, I'm gonna talk a little bit more. I honestly have no idea how long I should leave it in there. Like, no basis at all. This is entirely something that I just thought of last night or maybe this morning. I can't quite remember exactly, but I wanted to record a video because I never record videos of my project, and I do a lot of projects that I think you and the world might be interested in because they're stupid and they usually don't go well. Like, for example, I completely messed up already like 3 times, and here we are enjoying the 95% humidity overcast skies that are inexplicably still probably 90 degrees, and it's probably going to rain on me and destroy my expensive camera. But that's all part of the experience of fashion. Fashion is about destroyed camera equipment and regretting every decision you've made in life. I think that that's probably long enough to where it'll work. So let's move back to the main, what is going on. All right. So I'm going to try and shake off a little bit of the excess. That way it doesn't drip places I don't want it to be. And I'm going to stamp this a few times because one of the reasons why I'm doing this, one of the reasons why I'm trying the stamps, is because the stencils are difficult to use on multiple shirts in close temporal proximity. It's a very slow and arduous process, especially with the more complex stencils. The more complex the stencil, the harder it is to place. If there are multiple pieces, it's a pain, and then you got to remove them, then you got to neutralize the fabric, then you have to reapply it on the next one. And since you're spraying, there's a lot of inconsistency in the overspray area. But let's go. I think that's enough shaking. Time for the moment of truth. Actually, it's not quite time because the fabric is a little not flat. You want the fabric to be flat, and you kind of want it to be clean too. This is covered in sawdust now. All right, here we go. And I'm pressing firmly because I want it to adhere. All right. And then moving on to the next one. Now, one thing that I wasn't sure would work is I wasn't sure if the texture of the wood would transfer, and it seems like it is, honestly. It also seems like there's a lot of oh, the second stamp worked really well. Do you see that? I don't know if you could see that very clearly. It's still reacting, but So really, it was kind of, the first one had way too much bleach in it still. I didn't quite shake it out enough. So when I stamped it the first time, there was droplets that formed. The second time, it was really clean, but also I had prepped this side by sanding it down smooth, which I did not do on this side. So this side is very rough, it's very uneven. I think that if the woodblock was much more even, this would have turned out better. And also, there's still a lot of burrs around the edges of the beveled area, which kind of, I think, blurred it a bit. But it is still very, very sharp on the sides where there is no burring. I'm going to try this a third time. See, because I'm thinking at this point, probably not going to have quite enough bleach left in it. But I'm also wondering if I just leave it on there. Hey, I'm going to leave this one on there because I still have 6 more minutes left of this. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes and then go back to the whole talking thing about this project. So, like, one thing is like I said at the beginning of this, I'm a very fashion-forward individual, and that's kind of a joke. It's kind of not a joke. Like, I'm a big fan of the way people dress themselves. It's a topic of interest for me. I find high-end fashion where they're wearing these ridiculous costumes. Yes, costumes. I'm not even calling them clothing. Made out of just the remnants of every holiday's mascot, just cut up and then repackaged with somebody who's not wearing anything below the waist for shock value. That confuses me. I don't understand that realm of couture fashion, but just the act of making clothing, making things that have a statement. Like this says, aha, See, this is now a shirt that says, and this one, since it's upside down, is going to say nothing because there was definitely not enough bleach in the third stamp. But obviously, like, we can re-soak, and that is the beauty of the stamp. I'm not going to leave it in as long because it's already saturated. So we're going to have that the moisture thing. You know where like water just likes to be with water. It likes to connect. It just, like, if you run a drop of water down a surface and then let it air dry, it's almost as if the next drop knows where the last one went and it will follow the same path. Okay, so there's that. See how dark it is right there? Because it hasn't reacted. Now it's starting to come through. Now it's starting to react. This also is another thing where the, I ruined the second stamp. I got a big drop of that. So I'm actually going to, oh no, I never filled the spray bottle with the peroxide. I'm going to do that quickly now. Or actually, better yet, I'm just going to, if it'll fit, I'm just going to put the spray cap onto the peroxide bottle. You know, they actually sell peroxide bottles with one of these already on it. And that's probably going to be your best bet if you can find them. I think they have them at Walmart. I didn't get these at Walmart. Well, it fits. We're good to go. So now... Uh-oh. And always make sure to get your gloves too, because your gloves probably had bleach on them, and so you're going to want to neutralize them. And you're going to want to neutralize everything. Actually, you're going to want to even neutralize your stamp, because now you see there, see how it fizzes? That's what I was talking about. The fizz is actually like, that's the reaction of the bleach and the peroxide, but the gas that it gives off is just it's just oxygen, so it's not going to kill you. But yeah, like I was saying, the bleach is going to deteriorate your stamps over time. I'm sure of it. So just, you always want to neutralize everything involved, just so the bleach doesn't ruin your hard work, so that you can't ever come back and reuse these things. That was the thing with, especially a point of concern with the stencils. If you ever try this with stencils as I did before, just make sure you neutralize everything. And the spray bottles also. I've ruined spray bottles, especially with the stenciling. I might make a video about the stenciling using tape, because that's a thing that a lot of punk and rocker and you know, the shirts with the X's on them that the that the straight edge folks used to use. Yes, they're made, it's just tape, and then you spray bleach on it, or you can splatter bleach on it and do all these things. I may make a video about it in the future, but I don't wanna, because like I said previously, I don't like the smell of it. So there isn't gonna be anything more. This is it. This is all you're gonna get to see. It's gonna really look the same when it's dry. I mean, it's gonna be more, now it's pretty much gonna be this, just gonna be dry. And I believe that this was a good experiment. I've learned some things, we've learned some things. You wanna have a smooth surface, and you wanna have clean bevels, basically, yeah. And you also don't wanna use make a design that's way too complex for the size of the bit you're using. I need to work on my woodworking skills before I can really exploit this to its fullest potential, but currently I'm pleased. I'm pleased with this proof of concept because it's very sharp. The edges are very good, and it did work on repeated presses. I just need to hammer down and really perfect the process before I can make any attempt to mass produce clothing this way, which will probably never happen. This was just a way of me occupying my time so that I don't feel useless to society. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more videos like this, too bad, because I won't make them very often. If you enjoyed my other videos, the explained videos, I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded them in forever. I plan on doing that. I've been busy being sad and depressed. And trying to sell my stuff, because I have way too much stuff and not enough space. So I had a yard sale, and you don't think that a yard sale would be as crippling to a person's YouTube career as this one has been to mine, but it is, and it can be, and it will be, and there is no success to be had on this platform anymore. Thank you for watching, again, and do the subscribes. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @Here'sJolly, and don't die.